Stay blessed, keep stacking, turn up my mic. Welcome to the real bread life. Welcome to the real bread life. Welcome to the real bread life.
Years, and then sold that. I bought a Pepperidge Farm route.
Before you just slide into the Pepperidge, how did you just association with people out there in the
When I went to go sell my first route?
Yeah, but when you just said you bought a Pepperidge, but it didn't just, fall in your lap. How did you?
No.
You know what I mean?
Well, when you're in the bread world,
that's what I mean.
you know everybody.
So was it somebody
would say, hey man, I heard that the Wallingford route's going to be for sale. Now I live in Wallingford. I'm doing New London all the way. My territory for that Martin's
That's
route,
what I'm getting at, because I know it was the territory.
I used to do Deep River, Essex, Old Lyme, East Lyme, Niantic, New London, Waterford, Groton, Pawcatuck,
you're an hour
and
away and some change.
It was 55 minutes from my doorstep to my my depot.
Yeah.
Just to load up in the morning.
Right.
So.
Let alone
A lot of windshield time, a lot of fuel, but fuel was cheap back then, and there was a lot of different factors. But Martin's also paid you 24% commission. That's unheard of. Still to this day, they pay you 24% commission.
Yeah.
So I mean, you worked, but you got paid. You made good money.
What is their ratio on route when you sell?
I believe those guys, it varies, but they're right around about 25 to 1 right now.
When you say 25 to 1, what does that mean?
So for simple math, let's say this guy's got a route that you want to buy, and it averages 52-week average. Always want a 52-week average.
Yeah.
52-week average sales is say $10,000. Again, just making up math.
Well, for simple math, just for
so
the listener
$10,000 route
watching.
at 25 to 1, it's $250.
Yeah.
So I know that sounds like a lot of money, which it is. I mean, but the bank, any bank, whether it's their own personal financing or a bank that's familiar with this business, they don't give you the loan unless it's there on paper. You know what I mean? So
they got to see the numbers.
As long as you're willing to work hard and do your thing every day and just capitalize on sales at all times, you're not only going to pay your bills, but you'll make money.
So when you say capitalize on sales, you want to make sure that your BOGOs are fully stocked. You're putting your signs up.
Sure.
You're fighting for your space in all your stops.
Don't let anybody take your space.
Because some people get lazy and cut corners and just say, don't worry about it. I don't care.
Rotate your bread properly. That's the most important thing you can do, is just rotate your product, properly every single time you go up to that section. First thing you do,
Okay, so they gave you information about the Pepperidge route in your area.
Yep. So, just basic shit luck. I happened to mention to a good friend of mine out there that I was going to sell. His nephew was looking to get into the business, and I sold it to him. It was my first closing with the bread route.
Did you make any money off of the Martins when you sold it?
Yeah, we did pretty well. I'm looking over this way to my beautiful wife, because she's been with me all the way through this whole thing,
Yeah.
We bought our first route 2 weeks after I got married.
There you go.
Yeah, she had a lot of trust.
Yeah.
Because we're both stepping into something we had no idea. So.
Well, it's good to have that partnership and somebody that could support you in that way.
No question. No question about it.
So, I mean, like you said, it's been working out so far.
Yeah, she's a lucky girl, 26 years. This drill.
I'm going to say that you're the lucky one.
Maybe. Maybe. I got some odd opinions. Everyone has one.
So, you get the Pepperidge route.
Yep.
How much different was it, like you were talking about when you first started going in with Martin's 2, 3 in the morning? Same process? Pepperidge a little more.
The guy that I was buying the route from, he was an old school Italian, and I learned a lot from him. I'll say that, because doing a Martin's route where you had a handful of different items, you got a bread, hot dog, a hamburger, a hoagie roll,
a slider roll,
right? I mean, a handful of different items. To go into a company like Pepperidge, I went from having 7 items to order for, to 40 something, like that.
Yeah.
But this guy, he was cool. He let me train with him for a couple weeks. Angelo Martone was his name.
And that's the route in Wallingford.
That was the one. He owned Wallingford, Northford, and North Branford. Was all his territory.
Okay, so the couple stores that I go in that area.
At the time, Big Y wasn't there in North Branford.
What about East and West?
You're talking about for Wallingford? I'm sorry. So the Wallingford section, there was East Center Market, no West Center Market at the time.
So and then you went down. You said down North Branford. So you jumped
Yeah, I would go from, I would do the Wallingford, and then I would go over the hill, do Norfolk store, and then go out to an IGA out in North Branford, which really wasn't far, especially in comparison. I live in Wallingford, so everything is
Right
directly.
centralized.
Norfolk's right behind.
Were there a lot of smaller stops?
Had
Mom
a few,
and pops?
Had a few. East Center Market had a lot of restaurants at the time. Brothers Restaurant in Wallingford. The list goes on and on. But it was a solid little route. And the first time that I owned it, because we'll get into this, I've owned Wallingford multiple different times. First time I owned that territory, there wasn't a Super Walmart. I think there was a Kmart.
Right, that Walmart wasn't there yet.
Right. There was a Walmart, but it was down the road, basically where Lowe's is now. It was like a small what they call a D1 Walmart, small, old school.
Just a store.
Just a store. It had a small, very, very small.
Right. You could walk in and see the back
food.
of it.
Pretty much, yeah. It's not like Walmart's now, you know. But yeah.
So what? You said you owned it a couple times. So what made you get rid of it the first time? Offer you couldn't refuse?
Yeah, I just had an opportunity to do a good flip. I made good money on my flip on my first route, and then when I bought that Wallingford route, I actually sold off Norfolk and North Branford and just kept Wallingford. And then I sold Wallingford because I had an opportunity to do another route. I think actually at that time I was going to get into cookies, right? I was going to do the cookie end.
Pepperidge cookies?
Pepperidge cookies, yeah. So I sold that Wallingford, bought a Pepperidge cookie route, ironically, back out in the same area where my Martin's route was. Yeah. From my buddy whose nephew bought my Martin's route.
Okay.
His cookie route.
Keeping in the
We're
family.
all connected one way or another, you know?
Oh, man.
And yeah, so I made a killing on that flip. And then I took that money, rolled it over onto the cookie route because they get more money for the cookie routes, ratio-wise.
Yeah, I think I may have seen the cookie guy in East or West Center once, doing the Pepperidge cookie guy.
Yep.
You know, but it's always loaded, it's always stocked.
Yep.
But I rarely see them.
Excuse me. Yeah, I did cookies for about 3-4 years, and it's not that I didn't like doing the cookies. It was all right, but it wasn't what I was used to. Bread is get up, get in, get out.
How about the numbers? Good?
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything else. I mean, if you have a $10,000 route, you're getting paid with Pepperidge 20%. So whether you have a bread route or cookie route, but it was different. And one of the main differences with doing cookies versus doing bread, a couple of main business. One, most of your stock is on the back of your truck. So there's no going to the depot every morning or wherever, you know.
Yeah.
And then the other main factor is, you know, with bread, milk, and eggs, every store wants you there first. When you're a cookie guy, it's just like, hey,
see you when you get here.
Yeah, hey, how are you? You know what I mean? So that took a little while to get used to, you know. They was like, you go walking in somewhere at 1 o'clock, you know what I mean? They're like, hey, how are you? I was like, oh, okay, good. You know? So that part was good. But I don't know, it wasn't my thing. But I tried a couple different times, flipped them and whatever.
So you do the cookies.
Did the cookies, had an opportunity to buy Wallingford back. Now, by the time I left and came back,
was it bigger or smaller?
The route itself got better and bigger. It still owned strictly Wallingford, but the Kmart was out of business. Super Walmart moved in. A lot of different changes happened on Route 5 on that stretch.
Right.
And the kid was doing less than what I had sold him the route at. Or
he got comfortable.
I don't know what happened.
But this is what I'm saying. And when you buy a route, when you take on a route, when you start a route, there's always opportunity to grow in some way.
For the most part. I mean, I believe, and I'm sure there's a lot of guys out here who you know, are going to watch this and can say, you know.
There's not always opportunity to grow.
And I myself, I can look anybody in the eye and I'll tell you, I've been doing this almost 26 years and I have not had a down year yet.
Because if there's an area or a store that's weaker, there's always another area or a store that you can make stronger, or
nobody's perfect.
Find some ways to balance it out. Because I just say that because I ran into that.
Now there are guys, there are circumstances where you own a territory and you lose a store goes out of business. Yeah. Well, that's not.
There's nothing you can do about that.
That's awful. It's terrible when it happens, but it does happen. Not too often, but it does happen. And when it does happen, that's not your fault. Yeah. You know, I was just blessed
to not have it happen to you.
Yep.
And Waterbury, ShopRite closed, a few months back, out of the blue. They just, hey, we're closing. You know what I mean? So if that's an anchor
hit.
store, that's a heavy
That's
hit
a hit
for someone that has that area.
You know, that's probably $400 or $500 a week out of
But
somebody's paycheck.
let me say this though: across the street from where they closed is Stop and Shop and the Walmart. So if
Now,
you don't go heavier there, that's on you.
Both of those stores are already there?
They were already
All
there.
right, so you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. That's a prime example. Because ShopRite, if it's right across the street and it closes up, then in my mind, in that case, you should be able to suck it up with your 2 stores. Maybe not all of it, but you should
Most
be
of it?
really close to it.
That's what I'm saying.
Where are they going to go? I mean, they're already, you know, Walmart shopper and a ShopRite shopper, somewhat similar, and same with Stop and Shop, really. So
Yes.
I can't see you losing a lot of customers in a case like that.
Yeah, because the next closest ShopRite, if that's where you really wanted to shop, is a good 25 to 30 minutes away from the one that closed.
That's far.
That's
You'd have to be
far.
a pretty dedicated ShopRite shopper.
Yeah, and I know some from the town that do it.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah,
go.
especially if you're a senior, seniors love
Those deals.
ShopRite Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday, I think it's senior day.
Exactly.
But actually, with ShopRite, I got lucky because one of my stores was closing on Route 5, Shaw's. Remember the Shaw's Market?
Yeah,
store?
absolutely.
They were closing, and I hit a home run because ShopRite moved in. And so it was because Shaw's was awful. I had convenience stores that did more volume than Shaw's did. ShopRite moved in, so I had an instant fat boost in volume, like 2,000 a week, something like that.
Yeah, so
in
that
volume.
and
That I
that's
capitalized when I sold, right?
Yeah.
I got that equity money. So
yeah.
my
See,
route
and
went up
and that's
2,000.
the thing that happens. You get lucky like that.
I did.
A smaller chain store closes and something bigger moves in there to that space.
Yeah.
So you
and
could
they
get
were
lucky
loyal.
that
They
way.
were right up over. They weren't that far, but they weren't in my territory. They were in Meriden, and I only owned Wallingford, and they were barely in Meriden, the original ShopRite.
Yep,
That's
yep.
where Big Y is.
Yeah.
And they moved from there to Wallingford, so they not only brought all their customers that they normally were used to, they put that the Druss family owns it, and they own the one in Southington as well. But they put that on the bus schedule and everything. They opened up smart. They kept their customers, and yeah, it was a huge boost.
Well, that's good planning right there.
Very.
So they knew what they were doing.
It worked out in my plan too, because now I was able to sell Wallingford again for my second time. I made a nice killing. 2, ironically, the guy who got me into this business, my buddy Chris, I sold it to him.
Oh, okay.
You know, like,
So when you sold that one, what'd you do? Just chill out for a minute, or you?
well, whenever I buy and sell a route, my wife, look at her, yeah. Thank God she's not on camera right now. Yeah, I usually rule of thumb. I take a couple months off.
As you should.
Because I work at 7 days. I do my thing. Flipping has become kind of like my thing all the way up to this point. I never really had a route more than 3-4 years at a clip. Buy it, build up the sales, and people flip houses. I was flipping routes. This route that I'm on now is 13 or 14 in my career, but I plan on sticking around for a while on this one.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I like this little route.
Yeah. I was out with you last week,
Yep,
and
in Walmart. Yep.
and I see, you know, the way you work it, and you know, I see it in your eyes, like you like.
Oh, I'm a bread geek. I love
Yeah.
it. I'll be the first one to admit it, man. I love this business. This business is not for everybody.
But it's for you.
It's for me.
And
is definitely for
I
me.
like that you said that for anyone that's listening, because that's the talk when me and Mark talk, or me and like Bob that, you know, I interview. Anybody, some of the guys I talk to, you know if this is for you or not.
Oh, no doubt.
You
No
know,
doubt.
or if you bring someone out, because we've all brought
Yep. Oh,
people.
yeah, definitely.
I introduce people to the business.
Yep.
I got to go on vacation, so I'm going to try to show someone so I can go on vacation and maybe they could help you, whatever it is. But I've brought people out over the years. I've been doing this.
You can tell if they're going to make it or not.
Yeah.
You know?
And they haven't.
But
Two people I've brought out have stuck with it, and one of them, he jumps every once in a while now, and the other one was my brother, who ended up buying a route in Naugatuck, and he,
Yep.
you know,
It's
it's
succeeded.
rare. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's rare.
I mean, if you want to succeed in this business, you can.
What would you say? What would you say would be one of the main things that you would have to be able to
Do?
overcome or do to succeed?
All right. Well,
A couple of the things.
that's a bit of a list. So,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
One,
Give a few of the things.
it would be very helpful if you don't mind getting up early.
Yeah, number
That's
one.
that's always been my weakness for the almost 26 years I've been doing this. I don't,
you still haven't mastered that yet.
You always see me late, right?
Yeah.
So,
I'm not gonna say it's late. I'm gonna say that's your time.
It is my time, you know. I'm trying to mold. For 26 years, trying to mold this business to think differently.
Yeah.
You know.
It didn't look so bad a few months back because it was still dark when you got there. Now with this hour change.
Unless a man will be insulted by that, but I'm not. That's who I am.
Yeah. So getting up early.
That would be helpful. Even though I have Wednesdays and Sundays off, all bread guys do. I go out to my stores
every day, like I do. Yeah, I'm an everyday guy.
I go out there, and on Wednesdays and Sundays, I mean, first of all, it gives my wife and I, believe it or not, a little time to spend together.
Absolutely.
And if she did a good job, we'll get breakfast, you know, afterwards. Just kidding.
If she doesn't, what's it, bread and water?
Not fresh bread. Previously fresh.
She get thrift store bread.
Yeah. No. So getting up early is definitely a key factor to this business. Be willing to put the time in, right? Because even though I work 7 days, you work 7 days. If we really wanted to, we could pay somebody to go out there.
Absolutely.
On days off. Not much. It'd be worth your while to have the day off, which I do once in a great while. But I like to see what was sold. I want to be there. I want to put up my bread. I want to see what
do my orders.
Just my orders. So I want to stay accurate. You know, I want to stay on top of it. It only takes 1 or 2 days to get backed up, you know, or 1 or 2 days to be running out, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean,
and both are bad.
Both are definitely bad.
Both are bad.
You're looking for that happy medium, which is, you know, it's not easy to do, but you figure out a way.
So getting up early.
Being
dedicated to
definitely being willing to put your time in. If you don't mind working for a few hours on your day off, that's very helpful.
How about ordering?
Yeah, that's something that you really can't teach somebody. I mean, you gotta
trial and error.
Yeah,
you gotta go through it.
Your best thing I always tell everybody, when you're gonna buy a route, when it's all possible, ride with that person who owns the route for at least a minimum of a couple weeks. If you can do a month, not everybody can get that kind of time, but if you can ride with the person that runs that business so you can watch exactly how they do it every day. Because especially from the older guys that have been doing this for a long time. And everybody's got their own system. When you take over a route, everybody's going to tweak it their own way.
To fit them.
It's always best to see how somebody else does it. You get to watch him do his ordering. And then it'll catch on to you, you know. Like, all right, you know what? He cut off hamburger rolls for Saturday because, you know what, we have a couple trays in the back room. Our shelf is full. It's going to rain.
Dates are going to carry through.
Dates will carry you through, right? Weather, whatever. So middle of summertime, if it's going to rain, pour all weekend long, cut back your hot dog or hamburger buns because nobody's going to be out there grilling, you know?
And it's funny you say that. I've done that before, and some people still, they hang out.
And then come back and you're wiped out? And
yeah.
You say, come on. Yeah, I know.
It's a level of unpredictability, is what I would say.
I always tell everybody you're basically running your business on an educated guess.
Yeah.
You know, the computer system in our company, I wouldn't call them accurate because, you know, as you go into each store to order per store, they give you a suggested number to go by. Yeah. I don't know about you, but
they calculate by what your previous sales were, what you did for the last week or two, and you know.
And then, you know, I tweak them. You know, I'm always either plus in it or minus in it, you know. But it's listen, like I said, many years ago when I asked my father to get me a job, he was, you know, he worked at a steel mill all his life. And I said, why don't you give me a job down there, Pop, you know? And he absolutely refused, which he could have got me a job like that, you know?
Could have had you right next to him.
Refused. He always told me, you know what? No. He said, find your own path, you know? He goes, just do something that you're going to want to do. And that's what I did. I actually got to thank him that he didn't give me the job, you know? And I tried to get a job, went down there behind his back, you know, filled out an app. They're calling Bruce, your son's here looking for a job. Oh, is that right? You know? Next thing you know, he was like in front of all, you know, I guess his constituents, get out.
Oh, man.
Thank you for your time. Yeah. Walking out the door like, just a kid, you know.
So getting up early, dedication, being married to the job.
No doubt.
Doing your orders properly. What about interpersonal skills, like, you know what I mean? Being a good people person.
Yeah. I mean, it's always, being personal is always going to help. You get more bees.
In life.
Period. You know, you get more bees with honey, right? I mean, you also got to learn how to read people. I mean, I always tell everybody, yeah, all right, I own my own business, but I have a lot of bosses. And it starts with when I'm getting checked in on the back door, right? My receiver, she's not your boss, but treat her like she is, or he.
Because he or she,
They can make or break you, man. You want to wait a half hour to get in, or do you want to, hey, what's going on?
you're never
man?
going to win that fight.
Never, never. So it starts right at the back door. Have a great relationship with your receiver, all right? And then from there, it immediately goes to, first of all, anybody that you see on a normal basis. Hey, how you doing? Always say hello. You know, how are you? Managers, get to know them. Spend the time with them. You know what I mean? You got to learn how to read people, too. If you got a manager that he doesn't feel like talking that day, just give him, hey, how you doing? And be on your way.
Right.
If he feels like talking to you,
He'll talk to you.
he'll talk to you and make the time to talk to him. Don't say to him, hey, listen, I can't talk right now. I don't care how late you are. In my case, you know, if I'm late,
Yeah.
I don't care. I'll make the time. I'll talk to him. Your personality sells, man. You know what I mean? It's
Right. That's what I was getting at, because some people don't know how to code switch throughout the day.
You got to.
You know, and it's unfortunate that everyone has things they're going through. Us as well.
No doubt.
Family, kids, life, health, whatever it may be. You
All the above.
kind of got to go through the job part. You know what I mean?
You got to leave that all at the door, man.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I mean, after a while, there are some managers that you'll become friends with, and you're gonna know everything about their
10
personal
years,
lives. And
8
we're
to
gonna
10
know
years
everything about our
of dealing with some people, it just happens.
Absolutely.
And let it happen organically. Don't force it.
Don't, be genuine.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if you
Genuine
if
wins.
you can tell somebody's being fake nice to you, and I know you don't like that, right? Why do it to somebody else?
Absolutely.
Be who you are. You know, I mean, those grocery managers and all to the store managers, they're normal people too, man.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, it's the same. You know.
Sometimes people forget that.
Yeah, but like my mom always said, because she was in sales her whole life, she said you got to sell yourself before you can sell your product.
Yeah.
And, you know. That's for free.
Well, I'm glad you got the personality you do, man.
You do too.
Yeah, well,
I know
yeah.
you do. But that's definitely a huge.
I think it comes from how I grew up, who I grew up around, and over time.
Yep.
And I'm not always smiling.
No.
Sometimes on the inside I'm not, but on the outside I am, because that's what it might call for.
Exactly.
And if I'm not, sometimes I have people just respect it as I respect theirs.
Sometimes you got to be a chameleon, Bill. You got to be able to change with your background.
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
It's just the way it is.
That's what happens.
I know it.
Yeah,
But that is huge. That's a huge, huge, huge factor. And if you're
years.
at our age,
Yes.
you have family and you have a lot of things going on. You also, it helps when you have, in my case, I'm lucky, I'm blessed. My wife understands the bread man schedule.
Right.
There's like holidays, for instance, like a Memorial Day weekend. Well, if we're going to get together at a friend's house for a picnic, Sherry knows if it's anywhere between noontime and like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm not going to be there.
Yeah,
I'll be at my stores packing out rolls and staying on top of it.
And by the time you leave that store, you got to go do the other store.
Right.
So
by the
it's
time you get done with that store, you're going to go back to the first store you started.
Yeah.
The holidays are fantastic, and that's your money-making time of the year. So
those are the ones we don't miss, and nothing's going to get in the way of it. And
nothing.
you need that support, and it's good to have that.
Pray to God that there's no rain.
No rain.
Just clear, sunny skies.
Where the weather is unkind sometimes in the summer, we want the snow.
Oh yeah.
In the winter,
because
because that's
snow scared, nor'easter.
all those words.
Oh yeah.
Bread man's best friend.
No doubt. No doubt. Absolutely. So you've been doing it for what, about 10 years now?
Yeah. Right around there. And yeah, man. I was saying, I was talking with Bob. It's just so much has changed, and you don't even realize it over time.
In the business?
Well, just with me, with what I know, how I figured it out, and now it's just second nature.
Yep.
And from breaking down, like you were talking about, just like when you first started, and even for me, just when you start doing a breakdown, like when you come in and check your little, that's another person we have to have a good relationship with.
Oh, the shipper? It definitely, it definitely starts in the depot with your shipper.
Yeah. Yeah.
He Ray's a good dude.
Yeah.
But
over the time, when I first met him and didn't know him at all, and I'm doing the bread, I think what happened was I'm struggling with figuring this thing out.
Yep.
And didn't realize what he goes through with the 30 people he's dealing with.
At least 30 guys, yeah.
And tens of thousands of pieces of bread. So now I have a different level
when
of
we're all
respect
short
for
or
it.
whatever,
Yeah.
you know, we don't care about everybody else's problems.
Right.
Ray, this is what,
Yeah.
where's this, Ray?
Yeah, yeah. I need this right now.
Yeah, you know,
You know what
right.
kind of helped me out a lot with those situations was when I first started, I was coming at 12, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Ugh.
But I was learning, and I'm glad I did. So it was kind of light as far as what he had to deal with. So I got a little bit more wiggle room with my struggle.
Yep.
You know what I
Yep,
mean?
I do.
So I kind of got lucky. So, you know, it was different. So now I see it, and I have a whole different level of respect for what he goes through and what he does.
Yeah, that's not easy. Like I said, he's got to deal with 30, 40 different guys. They all got, you know, something going on. I'm short this tray, or I'm over that tray, or Ray, what's going on with this? And, you know, sometimes he doesn't have the answer. Most of the time he does, but.
Right,
you know.
right. And he's got to do it with a level of humility, respect, and understanding with the people. You know what I mean? So I get it.
But a good relationship with your shipper definitely helps you in the long run.
Oh, it's going to go a long way.
Yeah, no
it's going
question
to go a long way. So yeah, so thank you for sharing those few things. I said one thing, and like you said, it's a list, and I'm sure there's a bunch of others.
But there's a bigger list of, in my opinion, of pros.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know?
So all right. So let me ask you this. You talked about the routes. Every time you flipped or bought a route, how many times was the truck involved?
All right. So most of the time, when I was flipping routes, I tried to make it as appealing to the buyer as possible. In other words, when you bought a roof, not all the time, but most of my routes, I would say, about probably 75% of them anyways, of the routes that I've bought and sold, I sold you truck, computer system, business. So you're ready to rock and roll right out of the gates.
Was that the case with you when you bought?
When I got in, yeah.
When the first one, the Martins, when the guy split the route with you, you had to find your own truck?
I just happened to get lucky where one of the other distributors, actually Christopher, had the spare truck. So I took what's called Baby Blue. Ugly truck. But anyways, you know, really playing your stops. You know, he didn't start the top, you know. You know what I mean? But my first route did come with a truck, and I sold the route with the truck because I was already working on a deal with the next route that I was buying with that buyer with his truck. So I had actually had him I tried to get the truck for nothing from the other guy, but he wasn't going to budge. So I bought the truck, but I did so well on the flip, that was okay. You know, it was still worth me giving the truck, the computer system, everything, you know, and I just rolled it like that. So I got the next route, had that truck, I would turn that route, you know, when I flipped that route, that truck and computer system went with the next route, worked out a deal with the next
So you
guy.
say the computer, so they're not like the routes when, so they're not included in the sale normally? With the Pepperidge?
With Pepperidge, it was worked into the price of the route.
Okay.
So if the value of the computer system, let's say at the time was $2,500, they would put that $2,500 into the financing. Throughout the years, that's changed, including with our company. Mm-hmm. So I think now it's basically like a friend of mine's in the process of buying a route as we speak. And he worked it out where the computer system was going to get thrown in.
Oh, okay.
So you didn't have to pay for it. You know, because we just recently bought these new computers.
Yeah.
So most guys want to recoup that money, and rightfully so. If that's how you feel about it. But for me, I'd rather not let a $1,500 computer separate me from
getting the deal done.
Yeah. You know,
Want to get the deal done.
That's not to say that's for everybody. All depends on the deal you work out. You know.
So the truck in the last deal you did, when you got the I'm talking about the Thomas, the route you have now.
Yeah. All right. So with that one, how did that go?
You knew the guy you bought the route from pretty well, so
yeah. Well, the first that's Biggie. That's how it happened. All right. So.
I have to bring it back.
Actually, I bought and sold that box truck a few times. That's a funny story. I don't know if we got time for it.
Oh, we got a little time.
So when I bought Biggie's route, we did the truck, computer system, all one shot, right? So I did pretty good. About a year and a half later, after buying that route, still in that truck, I decided that I was going to expand my business and buy another route, but keep the one that I bought from Biggie. So I did that in the beginning, and then it's hard to find employees like Mark can get, or whatever. You know what I mean? It's hard to find somebody who's solid that you can depend on in this business, and this is what it's all about in this business: dependability. You know, we don't care what your personal story is. You got to be there picking up your bread on the dock. Period. You know. So I went to go expand. So I had my truck on the first route that I got from Kevin. I bought the second route. That truck got thrown into the whole mix as well. So I didn't pay for that truck. So now both routes are, I'm running one route, the other kids run another route. We both had our trucks. And then that didn't work out well with me having an employee, so I decided to sell the route that I bought off of Biggie to Spencer and Gina, who load up next to me now. And I gave them the truck that I bought with the new route. Kind of hard to, you know.
I get it.
But I gave
when
that
you bought
truck.
the route, you gave them that truck.
Correct. And then the truck that I got with the route from Biggie, I sold that truck because I wanted a new truck. It's been enough. I wanted to get a brand new truck, so which is what I did.
The point you're making is you're a hustler. So you're flipping the
I
routes, you're
sold
selling
that
the
truck
trucks.
for for 65. Bought it back for I think 45 or something like that, and then resold it like a month later for 7,500. That truck was beautiful. I made a lot of money off of that truck. Thank you, Biggie. You know? But yeah, no, I did get with that truck. But I probably would still be driving that truck if I didn't want a new truck, and that's the only reason why I went. I figured after all these years, I want to have something nice. Yeah. So that's what I did.
As you should.
Yeah, just an extra payment. You know? No big deal.
But reliability.
100%. I mean, your truck is your life.
Yeah. So you don't have the issues of, tranny
Come on,
slipping
baby.
or
Come
something.
on,
Yeah.
key, you know?
I hope it starts this morning.
Oh, you can do it. Petting the dashboard. Love you. So, yeah. But, it's all good stuff, man. But like you said, you can tell if you're into the business or if you're not into the business.
Right.
You know? I mean, like I said, it's not for everybody, but it's also not brain surgery.
Right.
You know? But a friend of mine, Mike Fasicchio, a fellow bread man, always told me, it's not complicated. Don't make it complicated. And as long as you're willing to work hard,
right,
you're going to make a good living. So,
where do you see now in the last 26 years, like since you started, I know it was Martin's, it's Pepperidge, now it's Beanbo. Do you see it still a good source of income and something that is a good business for someone that wants to be an entrepreneur or want to work for themselves? And
yep.
You know what I mean?
In my opinion, and I may not be a fair opinion, man, but this is my opinion, I love every bit of this job.
Okay.
I have days where you come home and, man, you're just disgusted. But for the most part, it's a great business.
Pros outweigh the cons.
100%. And I don't regret ever, not one day, of getting into this business. But that's just me. And there's other guys out there who might be bitter, and I don't know if that's because of personal reasons or if it's factual reasons or whatever. But in my case, I personally would recommend you, if you're just something you're interested in doing, don't jump into it. Hook up with somebody you know, get on the truck, see if you like it.
Yeah, I had
learn it.
I had someone message me and kind of a comment from one of the previous interviews with Bob, and they were, they're interested in a route, and they told me what it was, how much it was, and I messaged them back, and was talking to him a little bit. Then he gave me more information and said, I've been working for, I've been doing this for 2 or 3 years. He's working 13-hour days, and he's working for someone doing a route, and this one's available. So my reply now is, yeah, you got it already. If you can do it,
he's going to be buying the route that he's actually doing now?
No, a different one.
Okay.
But
same company?
He's working more than 12 hours right now for someone.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
But the route, and I didn't know because he asked me about the company, and I don't want to say the company because I don't like to throw shade on any company.
Nope.
And say what's good, bad, or because me, I'm the neutral party in all this.
Well, I'll bail you out on that. without a doubt, there are a few companies that you would probably want to do your due diligence on, before you decide to buy into it.
Right.
Only from
Experience.
my outside perspective of seeing how these guys are running, and I can only speak of the companies that I've worked for, and that's Martin's, Pepperidge Farm, and Beanbo, and I was happy at all three.
There you go. And then there's others out there, that Flowers, Khaleesi.
Yep.
And then you have a lot of the independents and the more of the mom and pops.
Yep. There's a lot of different venues or avenues in this business.
And they all do good. Don't get me wrong when I say the Khaleesi and the Flowers, because Flowers
12,
has the
14
Wonder
hours?
Bread and and they've acquired
why work
some
12,
other
13,
breads
14
too.
hours a day when you can invest into something a little bit better
And yourself.
in yourself? There you go.
Investing
what's
yourself.
What's better than investing in yourself, right?
Yeah.
Spend your money a little wisely, maybe pick and choose a little carefully, and you can, why work 13, 14 hours a day when you can get into this business and make good money?
As much as you're making now or more.
Probably chances are it'll be
And
more.
cut those hours in half.
Yeah. I mean, it's no brainer to me.
Right. So
But
hopefully he's listening. He'll watch this
Yeah.
and take that into consideration.
yeah, I mean, I don't know what this guy's situation is, what exactly he's looking
But
at.
you answered the question, because one of the questions he had, and what I would have said was, get out there. But he already does the bread.
So he's got to see. He's got to see.
He's got to see what that route does.
Yeah.
He's got to see what those numbers are for himself over a couple week period. That's my biggest thing, and I will say that to anyone, and that doesn't have to be a secret. You could tell me this route does 150. This route is worth 150,000. It does X amount of dollars a week. Well, I got to come out there and see it.
Right.
And not just for the week you're telling me. I want to see it for the next 3 weeks.
Oh, right. I mean,
You know what I mean? I want to pick that stale up consistently with you and see what those numbers are.
Like I always tell people, if you want the best way to first step before you buy a person's route is, number one, if you're interested in buying someone's route, let anybody know. Go out there to that person's territory. See how they're running their business before you even hop on their truck. Why not? You can see if they're missing a boat, or if they're loaded, or, if they are a good distributor in your mind, if they're a good distributor, bad distributor, whatever. That's step one, is go into the territory that you're looking to buy. Check it out yourself. Excuse me. And if you like it, you like what you see, or in my case, if I thought there was going to be room for growth, then you contact that person. Tell them you're interested in buying that route or whatever. Like, take a ride, and there you go. Go from there. Let everything just work its way through.
No, good. That's good information. I appreciate you sharing that. I just, like I said, I like to be the neutral person.
Yeah, that's what it should be.
And I have a different position as far as being the person with the platform to put people out there to give the information. I don't want to say I'm swaying people in a direction. I just want to give people the opportunity to share the information.
Yep. I mean, I mean, like I said, it's just self-employment as a whole. Whether, I don't care if you own a Dunkin' Donuts, or if you own a bread route,
or you used to do lawn care,
hauling business, whatever you're doing. If you like it and you're willing to hustle for it, you'll make it. I know this. I don't have a college background.
You go with these numbers, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with math.
In this business, you got to be pretty good with math.
Yeah, you do. Math, definitely doing math. And I know you're good at math too. So
I'm decent.
Yeah, so I'm not doing algebra.
I'm not.
I'm not.
Well, it's not rocket science.
No,
but it's not that type of
I can rock
math.
the adding, subtraction, multiplying.
And that's all. You said it. Add, subtract, multiply.
Divide.
I don't want people to get this misconception that it's some crazy math where you're going to be scratching your head and pulling your hair out. Basic math. And you can use your phone. It's okay. It's not a test. It's not school.
Absolutely correct.
You can use your phone. You can use your fingers, your toes, whatever you want.
Remember calculators back in our day? They were this big. Now everything's on your little phone. Yeah, no doubt. Absolutely.
No, I'm glad you said that, because that's good information for people to have. It's to not be scared of the math.
No, I mean, for instance, when you walk into a store and you know that you could fit 12 white bread in this one little section, you know what you can fit. You do it every day. And they're gone. 12 more, and you'll fill it right back up.
It's that simple.
Yeah, it is.
It's that simple.
I mean, obviously, there's more to it in the back end, but for the most part, yes, it is that simple.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Okay, I know you got to get going. You have previous engagements you are already committed to. I appreciate you taking the time.
Oh man, I thank you for inviting me.
Coming through, sharing with the people.
Appreciate it.
All right, so we're gonna take a few pictures.
Okay.
She got your shirt here. I'm gonna get you one that fits you. Thank you. Thank your wife for getting you here safely.
She does every time.
And I'm gonna be putting this up, and you'll see the video of us going through your Sam's Club. And
one last thing though, real quick. You don't have to be a Yankee fan to be in the bread vendor. I saved that all the way to the end. Don't cut that out.
No, I'll leave it in there. Again, Brandon, thank you. Thanks so much. I appreciate you, man. I'm glad we met.